Hey, Moneymakers, welcome to a special Wednesday night show. It is our first IPO alert of the year. You may have heard of it. Woodcats International is seeking to become the first listing or the first new listing on the Jamaica Stock Exchange for 2026. So tonight, we're going to be talking all things Woodcats International and looking at the offer. We have our guests from the company and also from the lead broker, NCB Capital Markets, who are going to be joining us in just a few. Get your questions ready. Don't wait until we finish the show and then you say, I don't get to your questions. Start typing them in the chat one time if you have any questions. And I'm going to be pitching those to our two guests. But first, here's a brief overview of the offer. Pallet manufacturer Woodcats is aiming to be the first company to list on the Jamaica Stock Exchange in 2026. The 26-year-old company is offering 833 million shares to the public, each priced at 90 cents. The minimum subscription is 1,000 shares. If the offer is successful, they will list on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. In addition to wooden pallets, Woodcats also manufactures garden mulch, planter boxes, outdoor furniture, and engineered wood items. The company was acquired by Dividend Trading in 2018. They intend to use the funds to purchase equipment and for working capital. The offer opens on February 2 and is expected to close on February 20. NCB Capital Markets is the lead broker. All right, so that's an overview of the Woodcats International IPO offer. It's an IPO, and also they are, well, the selling shareholder, Diversification Trading, is selling some shares. But let's hear more about Woodcats International from our guest. Joining us now, we have Peter Douglas, who's the Senior Vice President of Investment Banking at NCB Capital. No, that's not him. So Peter Douglas is the General Manager of Woodcats International. And then we also have Christopher Buchanan, who is the Senior Vice President of Investment Banking at NCB Capital Markets. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Khalilo.
Thank you, Khalilo.
So Peter, let's start with you because you are over at Woodcats. And this company's been around for over 20 years. But for those who are not familiar, I was only vaguely familiar before the IPO because I remember when Diversification acquired it and I remember it being in the news. For most people who don't know what you do, just give us an overview of who Woodcats International is.
Thank you. Well, Woodcats International has been one of Jamaica's best kept secret. We are the premier manufacturer of wooden pallets, right? So we are the logistic wheel that runs Jamaica and the wider Caribbean in the region. But we are not just about a pallet company, right? We are more, as we'd like to say, we are more than just pallets, right? So to break it down a little more about us, pallet is our core business. From pallets, here comes waste. We have a circular business where we position waste into what we call waste revenue. Right, so we create other products, byproducts, like planter boxes, engineered furniture, and garden mulch as byproducts, right, to form our circular business. Right, but we are also a company that tries to close a circle and packaging. So we offer slip sheets, we offer plastic pallets for industries that doesn't use wooden pallets, right? So we try and serve the packaging and the logistic industry. So that's what we do.
So logistics is a pretty big industry. Wooden pallets might not be the first thing that comes to mind when we think of logistics, but you are an integral part of the industry. How competitive is the pallet industry? Because like I said, we're not very familiar with that specific item.
Okay. Pallet is a critical component to logistics, as you say. We are the leaders in the pallet industry, and we are amongst the leaders in the English-speaking Caribbean. Competitive, I think we control the lion's share, but one competitor is too much for us. Right, so we do everything to foolproof the business as we go along.
Things like what? How do you foolproof the business?
We try and make our business more efficient. We don't pass unnecessary costs to our customers, right? And we try and innovate and mechanize as much as we can.
And then on the mulch side, so you take the byproduct from making these wooden pallets and you turn that into mulch, which is used in farming. What type of competition do you have there, and what opportunities do you see for growth?
It's used in gardening, more to speak. I tell you, when we just started some years ago, we had a little challenge getting into the market as a local player because 100% of our garden mulch then was imported. We break through to the point where I think we are providing over 90%, 95% of the garden mulch that is used on the island now. So we have made a massive breakthrough in that area and save a lot of foreign exchange.
So it's not necessarily used in agriculture, in large-scale agriculture, more for household gardening
For
projects.
garden
Oh,
beautification.
okay, understood. All right. So, and let me find out, who are some of your biggest customers for both, well, primarily for the pallets, because that's the biggest part of the business. Who do you sell to?
Well, we sell across industries, different sectors. That makes us really viable. Our big customers would be Red Stripe, uh, the cement company, Lasco, Usinco, and the Separate Group.
So all the big players, all the big manufacturers and distributors,
Yes.
for the most part. We have a lot of questions in the chat, and I'm going to come to those shortly as well. I saw in the prospectus that you guys have a strategic plan that you plan to take you through 2026 and beyond. I really liked looking at that strategic plan. Can you tell me about some of the areas that you see for growth in this industry? Is it highly dependent on the logistics industry in general and how much business is coming to Jamaica?
Uh, well, we are looking to grow the business through diversification. We're looking at creating a new revenue stream. We are onto it, but we're going to build out more in 2026. So it's looking about creating new revenue streams and not just relying on pallets.
What new revenue streams do you have in mind?
Well, we're gonna expand our outdoor furnishing business. We're looking at in selling other products, other wooden products, expand our furniture business. So it's a wide range. I would not wish to speak to depth on it now, but we have a plan to expand our furnishing business and to build out other wooden products.
You know, it's interesting that you would say that. So is the reason for that diversification in the product line that you're not confident that the logistics side of the business will grow and that we're going to be getting more of that business and we're going to be needing more wooden pallets?
No, the logistics side will grow, and we're looking to grow the logistics side even internationally. But we are not only reliant, we're not going to be reliant on pallets and logistics, but we're looking to diversify also as a complement to the logistics side of the business.
Okay, so I'm looking at the strategic plan now. Core business strengthening, so expand certified heat treatment capacity by 50% within 3 years to secure at least 3 new export heavy clients in CARICOM. So you're looking to enter new markets in the region as well.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, and once we scale the business enough, then we will be competitive to enter new CARICOM markets, which is something that we are actually studying and looking at with keen eyes.
Do you already export?
No, but we are a supporter of export. So, for example, we don't export directly, but we supply our clients like a Red Stripe or Rayonover that export. We supply all of those export certified heat treated pallets.
All right, objective 1.2, launch 2 pilot lines of composite or hybrid wood plastic pallets by Q4 2026. And the next one, increase pallet production output by 30% by 2027. When we talk about increasing pallet production output, what impact has Hurricane Melissa had on your business?
Okay. Like any other business, any other manufacturing business, Hurricane Melissa would have had impact on us, but we were able to respond quickly And a matter of fact, it provided an uptick for us because, of course, there was a increase in demand for goods and product, especially food items and construction material to move across the island. So we were able to deliver enough pallets to our major manufacturers to allow their lines to run. And the cement company were able to deliver pallets to them to allow material and other construction material to move across the island. So it created an uptick, and we are happy that we're able to help be a part of the wheel that got back the country to where it is now.
Yeah, I feel like in the short to medium term, there is going to be demand because we have all this investment coming in, all the funds that the government is receiving. So much construction and reconstruction is going to be taking place, and logistics is going to be huge for that.
Right, and this is why it's an opportune time for us um, to look at modernizing the business somewhat. Machinery, we're looking at pallet machines, as the prospectus would indicate. We're just looking to bring the business to another level so we can meet these demands.
So let's talk about how you plan to use the funds that you raise. You're hoping to raise about 750 million Jamaican dollars. And what do you plan to do with these funds?
Well, from the 750 million, half of it will go to the selling shareholder. The other 375, 350 million will be used in 187.5 million as capital expenditure to bolster our efficiency. We'll be bringing in machines to modernize our plants. We'll be also using up 164 million as working capital to support our diversification and our whole efficiency drive.
All right, I think it's time to bring in Chris. Uh, Chris, a lot has changed since Woodcat started doing business, but let's take a closer look at the IPO because there's been a fair bit of uncertainty in the market in recent times. As a matter of fact, the most recent IPO, that company failed to raise the required amount of capital to list and ended up withdrawing that IPO. So, what made you come to market with this offer now?
I think it's thank you for the question, Kalila. So I think it's really confidence around the company itself. I don't think there's any perfect time to, you know, to come to market per se. I think when you looked at the financial performance year over year, as well as when we looked at what the country needed in terms of post Melissa, Jamaica, Woodcats is a type of company that would need to ramp up. They needed to, be able to modernize, to, gain operation efficiency, and to be able to, keep Jamaica moving. So I think when we looked at all of these factors, as well as the fact that they would have been, you know, showing positive results year over year, we thought that they would be able to, beat all the odds and of course outperform whatever headwinds that we would have faced.
How did you arrive at the share price of 90 cents?
So I think there is some level of psychology that tends to go around that pricing. We found that when you put the share price at like $1, there is a particular level of resistance point there. So I think the 90 cents will have a psychological resistance point at a particular point at the $1 mark, and we'll kick on from there. So I don't think that was more art than science.
I think this question is for both you, both Chris and Peter. You're coming in right at the threshold, the $750 million for the junior market. Why not just go for the main market?
Chris?
Well, I think, so I think, given the fact that the threshold has been raised, you want to take advantage of that as best as possible. But the junior market does offer a lot of benefits. I mean, the tax incentive is no secret to anybody involved, and the opportunity to use that to continue to grow from strength to strength, so that by the time Woodcats gets on the main market, they would be a force to be reckoned with. In the same like as all the other top manufacturing companies that are there. So I think in its development stage, the junior market was where it needed to be, and the 750 we wanted to take advantage of the government into the market and upping the ante.
Let's take a look at some of the numbers. I think, Peter, this is your wheelhouse, some of the numbers. So the company recorded over $1 billion in revenue in 2024. And when you take a look back at 2020, the year of the pandemic, your revenue was 530 million. So you have almost doubled revenue since 2020. And not just revenue, operating profit also increased. It went from 32 million in 2020 to 179 million in 2024. So talk to me about how you were able to achieve these numbers and this growth.
Okay. This is one of our proudest 5-year at Woodcats. The number speaks for itself. The top line would have doubled, as you can see, through concerted effort, due to the quality of pallets that we produce and the service that we give to our customer. Right? The GP would have grown tremendously because of how we would have buy, especially internationally. So that would have contributed significantly to the GP. Right?
GP meaning gross profit?
Right. So we made concerted effort to buy smarter, right? We held our expenses in a most efficient way. So that would have accounted for the growth.
Okay. Sorry, Chris. Let's look at some of the risks associated with an investment such as this, because no investment is without risks, and there are some things that investors should be wary of or should be looking out for. What are some of the risks associated with an investment in Woodcats?
So I would take it from a broader standpoint. Investing in equities, does carry risk, and of course, you want to ensure that you're looking at your own personal portfolio to ensure that you are invested in the right asset classes, and you're not overexposed to any one asset. So that's the first thing. And we believe that you go and talk to your investment advisor at NCB Capital Markets to ensure that your wheelhouse is right, your asset classes are in the right place. As it relates to Woodcats in general, when you look at their main supply is just that wood, and it is a commodity that fluctuates and in the international market. So that is, can be a particular concern if it is that the international markets that they're able to service, that to get their supply from is interrupted. That can cause, price increases and compression in margins. Of course, given the fact that the pallets are, the major source of revenue, diversification, how fast they're able to diversify is a risk, But I think one of the things that the chairman had said to me is that Woodcats is not a pallet company; it's a wood company that does pallets. So they are going to be looking to go into various other areas, so that there's not the concentration in this specific output of their bread and butter, which is pallets.
Before I get to the audience questions, and I see a lot in the chat. By the way, guys, type your questions now. Don't wait until the last minute when I'm wrapping up and then you complain that I didn't get to your question. And also let me know what part of Jamaica or what part of the world you're joining us from. Type that in the chat for me right now, please. So let me just get back to Peter before I get to the audience questions. We always have to ask about dividends. What is the dividend policy for Woodcats International, or what will it be, or what is expected to be post-listing?
So if Woodcat is admitted to the junior market stock exchange, then the directors are proposing a 25% dividend per annum based on profit that is available, and it's subject to conditions that are listed in the prospectus.
And just for the record, you do have a record of paying dividends. Last year, you paid $100 million in dividends to Deramon.
Right, and that was for that wasn't a 1 year payment. That was accumulative.
By the way, what's it been like since that acquisition by Deramon in 2018?
It has been tremendous. It has given the company the fuel that it needed to grow.
How so?
We got a new location that's about 3 times the size of where we existed. So we are able now to operate from 2 locations. So we are given tremendous space to build out the business, and we're also given guidance at the executive level, right? And it just opened the business for us.
Ah, good to know. So they did inject some capital into it, and now they are selling some of their shares, hoping to reap a return as well. So let's get some questions from the audience. I see them coming in. First question comes from Lovebirds. Who are your competitors, and do you plan to acquire them?
I guess that's what I want to from me, Chris. We don't have. I wouldn't say that we have a lot of formal competitors, right? But even just one informal or formal, it's enough for us. As to acquisition, that is something that would have to be discussed at the board level.
Okay. Next question comes from Dermine. What will the company's growth be like in the next 5 years? And will you expand inventory and sell more products?
Absolutely. We will expand inventory. We're going to look at not just inventory to sustain the core business, which is Pallet, but we're going to be bringing in inventory for our diverse products. So we'll be expanding in inventory in a big way.
And in terms of growth, what type of growth are you expecting?
We are expecting to possible in the next 5 years to be a $2 billion plus company.
Mm. And right now you're at about $1 billion.
We're at a little over $1 billion.
So you're expecting to double revenue in the next 5 years.
Next 5 years, absolutely.
Well, I hope that happens. Sean wants to know what percentage of Woodcats' total revenue is generated from Deramon Trading Company and its related entities, seeing where revenue increased massively since Deramon acquired.
I would say 0.
0. So you don't supply to, because they are importers as well. No?
Yes. I would say less than 1%. Less than 1%. Deramon isn't a major customer. Deramon is absolutely not a major customer.
Okay. All right. Jamaica Politics TV is asking, we kind of went over this. With 4 parishes gutted by Hurricane Melissa, how will this affect your profitability in the short to medium term?
It will increase it because it means more products will have to be produced, more construction material will have to be shipped across the island. So it will give us an uptick.
All right, and a follow up to that, I guess you kind of went over this as well. They wanted to know who are your 5 biggest consumers. You already told us who those major clients are, Seprod, Wysinco, and so on. And were they heavily affected by Hurricane Melissa? If they were, you're saying it's on the positive side for your business because it means more business for you.
Absolutely.
Lovebirds says, I like the fact that you use all or most of your raw material. Do you have plans to employ renewable energy and rainwater harvesting to boost your efficiency?
Part of the plan is to have solar installed in our operation.
And what's the timeline on that?
It should be by 2027.
Is there a particular percentage of solar that you're targeting?
We are, from the last discussion, we are looking to solar the entire operation.
So you want to completely replace JPS?
Absolutely.
I don't blame you. Most of us would like to do that. That's goals. Sean wants to know what percentage of revenue is from pallets versus other products?
A good question. Pallets is our core business. I would say 70% of our revenue is from pallets.
70%. So
Yes.
core business indeed. 1KK, I tell you the questions are coming in. While you do utilize the raw materials regarding mulch, it doesn't seem to positively impact the business. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly from reading the prospectus, you lost money on that side last year. What are some of the other things you're planning to do to diversify? Well, you already told us what you're planning to do to diversify, but tell us about the mulch business, since this person is observing that it didn't positively impact the business, at least for last year.
Yes. We had a hiccup with one customer. Overall, the customer base has spread, but the impact of the revenue has slightly declined. In the business plan this year, we will recover. We plan to market the mulch in a different way this year.
Just to add to that, the mulch is actually used also in the hotel industry.
Right.
So, as that industry continues to recover, that is something that we do expect, to have a positive impact, as well as the wood shavings are actually used in the agro space. So all of those persons who have the chicken coops, that are doing those, they're selling to the various entities like broilers. And so, these are inputs that they need as well. So we do believe that, more and more as these industries continue to recover, that other side of the business is going to continue to recover as well.
And may I add also, we are investing in machines that will reposition close to 100% of our waste into sawdust, shavings, and mulch material to service those industries that Chris just spoke about. Because there's a demand.
Okay.
Currently, 100% of our sawdust that is produced naturally from the sawmill, 100% of that is taken up by our ground provision exporters. They use it as part of their packaging material, and so we just can't supply enough. So we are looking now to whatever material that has been dumped now. We will be buying machines to convert those to help that sector and to boost our revenue.
Charles has a very specific question. Charles says approximately 40% of the payables balance is credit card. Is it interest or something else? Why is such a large portion of liabilities sitting in credit cards rather than trade payables or bank facilities?
It's absolutely not interest. We keep our cards clean. The credit card is used to pay taxes, and it's used to procure raw material in some instances.
Okay, hope that answers your question, Charles. Walking Alone says, wants to know, on average, how often do your big customers purchase pallets per year?
Weekly.
So
Pallet runs the manufacturing lines, so we at times our big customers would buy pallets weekly. Some of them draw pallets daily.
Aren't pallets reusable though?
Yes, but we also have a repair and recondition division. So when the customer when the pallet gets damaged on the operation, we pick them up, bring them here, and we reposition them for them.
So like, what's the lifespan of a pallet? How often do people need to be replenished? Like how many uses would you get out of a pallet, for example?
That's a very difficult question that I've always shown away from. The lifespan of a pallet will be dependent on how the pallet is handled. The forklift touches, the forklift operator, what it is, what's the use. So all the different factors would affect the lifespan of it.
On average, do you have an idea?
If I had to put something on it, and I want to take that away from Peter, because I know that that is his industry, I would say 3 times. Use on average, it would be, you'd be able to use it 3 times before you say, all right, we might have to move on from this one.
Okay.
But as Peter said, if you use the pallets good, you probably can get 5 use out of it. If it is that you have the workmen, etc., or the everything is used to the best of its abilities.
Yeah. But what is happening now is that the pallets are being returned for us to repair them.
So you get recycling, reuse out of it. And you get additional business by doing the repair business.
Right. We have a division that deals specifically with that, recycling and reconditioning pallets.
Okay.
So if anybody have pallets out there that they have pile up at home, please give Woodcats a call so that they can, you can bring them in and
Right.
All right. Next question comes from Jamaica Politics TV. How does the cost of lumber affect your core business, and where do you import lumber from?
Oh, lumber is our number one input. The cost is key, right? So we have multiple supply chain locally and internationally. So we import lumber from I would say North America and South America.
And in terms of the cost, so you said it's the number one input. Lovebirds. Hurricane Melissa left us with a lot of fallen trees. Do you intend to invest in machinery that will convert fallen trees into mulch?
We have machines, and we are investing in more machines. Right, we do.
But are you looking to use the fallen trees that were, felled by Hurricane Melissa?
If what we have now as waste is enough for the market that we have, but we'll definitely look to that as we look to expand the mulch market, because we'll definitely go after that if we find that we can't find enough internally.
And did you say where you import from?
I would say North and South America.
North and South America.
Right.
Okay. You wanted to add to that, Chris?
Yeah, man. I just in terms of the local wood, because we want to ensure that there is no deforestation, etc. There's that is an area that is very well regulated. So I think the company has to always be on the P's and Q's to ensure that whatever inputs come locally come through the various channels that have the stamp and seal of approval. So I don't think we'd necessarily be able to go and pick up trees off the road per se. Right. But as long as it comes through the right channels, everything is going to be used. Nothing is going to be left to waste.
All right. And just to add to that, Chris, talking about environmental sustainability, we use about 80% of the material that are imported lumber are bought from certified mills. So there's no risk of being environmentally careless there. We make sure that we buy lumber that are commercially farmed for these purposes, and we get the necessary certification with each shipment.
Speaking of environmental sustainability, that's the subject of the next question coming from Jaleel Thompson. Does the company have an initiative for replanting trees as part of environmental sustainability?
Yes, that's a lovely question. We have just signed up with the forestry department to be a part of the teams that will go down to the west to be replanting.
Ah, lovely. Great initiative. Even though you don't use local lumber.
We use a small portion, probably 10-15% local lumber.
And well, that answers the next question. Walking Alone wanted to know what percentage of lumber use in the production process is imported. So probably about 90% then.
Right.
Jamaica Politics again. They have a lot of questions. Which Caribbean countries are you looking to expand to?
For now, we're still doing our groundwork. I'll just leave it to the wider CARICOM. I don't want to be specific right now.
And they also want to know, are there any plans to acquire assets outside of Jamaica?
That is possible. It's something that I think is being discussed at the high level, but nothing has been confirmed.
Original somebody, will the winter season overseas affect their supply?
No signs of it so far. We have been through many winters, and we have not seen any negative impact so far.
Ryan, well, the questions are just coming in rapid fire. I like how prepared you are. You've been with the company for a while, so you got this.
That's
Ryan,
right.
What was the reason behind not having a special allocation or dividend in specie for DTL shareholders?
So I'm going to guess that that is a special allocation for Dermon shareholders, or in the
Oh,
upper
probably in the reserve pool,
in the
right?
reserve pool. Well, I think for the most part, I think the company wanted to prioritize their the staff. So as you notice, there's a staff a reserve of staff for the staff of Woodcats.
Under
Oh, their money exactly is also in there. So there is some overlap there. So I think that is covered. I don't think we probably spell it out as best as we could, but there is a employee reserve that overlaps.
Employee reserve, but not reserve for Derrimon shareholders. So there is some overlap, like you mentioned, but I may be a shareholder in Derrimon because Derrimon is publicly listed,
Well,
but I'm not an employee.
but we do have a key partners reserve. So they and that is total roughly around 100 million. So there is a reserve pool for key partners, of which we expect that the holders of Derrimon.
So if I own Derrimon stock,
Oh,
I can
no,
apply under key partners?
okay. I understand now. So, because I'm thinking about the principals, like the majority shareholders, etc. So it wasn't clicking. But you're saying Derrimon shareholders themselves.
Right.
I guess at the time, that that wasn't an area that we I think we wanted to keep everything separate. For Woodcats is its own entity that and the reserve shares were really geared for specific to the partners of Woodcats at the time. So that was the thinking, and I don't think we had much discussions after that.
Okay. Walking alone, what's the revenue composition in terms of local sales versus exports? I think you said you don't export yet, right?
right.
So it's 100% local sales.
Local. We support export, but we are not directly exporting yet.
This question already has been answered. I'm trying to find another one that hasn't been answered yet. All right. So that was talking about with the recent offer that failed, why go public now? We spoke about that already. Cleavon says, we know the IPO price is 90 cents, but do you know the true value of the company? I'll give that one to Christopher.
So I think the valuation would be just 90 cents times the total amount of shares outstanding. So I have that in the roughly 1.7 billion range at the moment, but I stand corrected subject to what is in the prospectus.
Next question comes from Charles. What was the rationale for paying significant dividends while the company ended the year in a net cash deficit, 100 mil? I don't think you guys could afford that amount based on the cash flow statement. So I guess this is referring to the payment to Derrimon last year, 100 million dividend payment.
Well, I think that, I don't think it's a fair statement. When you invest in a company, when you would have, you put in your private equity and you put your time, effort into it, and you have that accumulated earnings over time, you reserve the right to be able to pay a dividend for that hard work that you put in. So, as long as it is that, and as well, the company has very low leverage. So when you look at most other companies, you have debt to equity are probably like 2.5 times. Right now, this company is at what, 0.4 times. So from a cash perspective, they're a cash generating entity and they're very lowly levered. So, if having that dividend being paid for years and years of hard work, I think is more than fair.
Okay. Philberg. I was waiting on you, Philberg. I know you always have the questions. You usually come through with a lot. I guess you joined us late this time. Why didn't the parent choose to give existing shareholders their share in the company as a dividend in specie as a part of the raising process? That would have added another layer of excitement.
Well, I feel like the offer is exciting enough. There's a lot of excitement in the market right now. Being in this space, I think investors have not gotten, a junior market company, that has this type of track record that has shown the level of growth, and when investors are able to go through the prospectus to look at it, and I'm expecting the research reports to come out and to be read, etc. That we do expect to have that level of excitement in the market. We have, the phones have been ringing off the hook. The institutional clients have shown, great amount of interest. So the thing exciting, man, right? And I think we're coming out at the right time.
I think the timing for this particular offer really is right on the money. Valentine says it's concerning that 50% is to be towards the selling shareholders. Has the company had positive EBITDA over the past 3 to 5 years? I feel like I could answer that, but I'll leave it to you guys.
No, man, answer Kalila, man. We got
Yes.
Well, the first part of the question I'm going to say. So 50% towards the selling shareholders. Just explain how that part of it works, the offer for sale versus the IPO.
Okay, no problem. So an IPO is where the company itself is raising funds from the market. So that money is going to go to the company in their books so that they are able to use it for their strategic objectives. And an offer for sale is where the shareholder, the majority shareholder, is able to sell a portion of their shares to the market, and then they are able to get those funds. In terms of, why would somebody do that? Well, as I said before, they would have taken a company that, was 32 million in,
Top line.
net pat, right, to a era where they are currently 137 million. So a lot of work would have gone in, and when that work is put in, it is normal for shareholders to be able to benefit from that level of that appreciation. So this is very normal in the space of taking a private equity stake and being able to reap rewards from that.
Right. So Valentine's, just remember that this is not a straight 100% IPO. You have a selling shareholder, Derrimon, and 50% is going towards them because these are their shares that they are selling to the market. And in addition, new shares are being created. That's the IPO portion. So nothing unusual about the way that is structured. Cedric says, can't wait to invest. Same Valentine still says lovely. Cedric says, solid business. We've answered a lot of these other questions so far. Let me see. Kemar, in your best estimate, where do you see the stock price in a year or two? That's so hard to estimate. And why do you think the stock will be at the mentioned price?
Well, I leaving that one outside the off stump, right? What we do believe is that there will be appreciation, but I won't put a number on it at this current moment. What I will say though is post listing, and we expect to be able to list. We expect the price earnings to be roughly around 13 times. When we looked at the market for manufacturing companies, their average is 15 times earnings. So we do believe there's a lot of value baked in for investors.
Okay, so for those of you who joined us late, and I see questions coming in that were already answered or already addressed in the early part of the show, when the show is finished, just go back and watch it from the beginning so that you can get your questions answered as well. The Blue Maho wants to know, what are the long-term implications of Derrimon Trading reducing its stake to 49.4%?
Long term.
Are there any implications? They'll still be majority shareholder. Does it make a difference any which way?
Correct. I think from a management standpoint, they are very much invested. This is a company that they believe in, and they want to, be at the helm and, continue that growth path. So, and their stake is still extremely large. So, when you protect your investment, which means that you're going to put your time, effort, and you're going to continue on that growth trajectory. So I think it bodes well for Dermont to continue to have their stake be as high as it is, and to continue to put their institutional muscle behind their Woodcats.
I'll take just a couple more questions. Is the company eyeing any strategic partnerships or acquisitions in the near future?
Strategic partnerships, no.
Or acquisitions?
Acquisitions is always an open question if and when something is available. But we're certainly going to position ourselves that we can take opportunities if they are viable.
One of the things I would say as well is when you're a listed entity, lots of opportunities come knocking on your door. It's not just you have to go out and look for them because you have cash, etc. But as a listed entity, foreign direct investment tends to come because your information is readily available. There's a particular level of governance in place, and the fact that Woodcats has said they are looking into the region to expand. My expectation is that their phones are going to be ringing more and more from the region, from the various areas, especially in the English-speaking Caribbean, looking to say, hey, these are the challenges I'm having in my jurisdiction. Can Woodcats help, and how soon?
Right. And we're certainly going to put ourselves in that position to take any such opportunity.
Okay. Very straightforward question. Why should I buy?
Woodcats is a solid company. The track record over the past 5 years speaks to where we are and where we can go with your investment. So your investment you'll be invested in a solid company with a sound structure, and your investment will be protected.
And finally, Chris, let's talk about how people are able to participate in this offer. Where do they go?
Very, very simple. I want them to go to goipo.jncb.com. And it doesn't matter if you have an account with us or you don't. You're able to apply as long as you have a JCSD number. If you don't have an account, please reach out to NCB Capital Markets. We will get you up and running. If you don't have a JCSD account, you are able to fund your IP fund from your NCB account if it is that you are an NCB client through the GoIPO app. So that's goipo.jncb.com to apply.
Will you be bringing in other selling agents?
Yes, we are currently in discussions with selling agents at the moment. Of course, there's an approval process that goes through. So they are we're literally waiting on them to sign off so that more can be on board. And I tell you, the excitement has continued, over and over. So we are getting the calls, we are getting the questions, and we do believe we'll have a few selling agents onboarded in short order.
Excellent. Well, I wish you all the best with this offer, reminding our viewers that you can check it out. You can apply at goipo.jncb.com. You can go there to download the prospectus, read it for yourself, figure out if this is something that you want to invest in addition to the information that you heard here tonight. And a reminder that you do not need to have an NCB account in order to use the GoIPO platform. Let me take some final comments from our audience, just a few. Jamaica Politics says 90 cents is genius at this time. Oren says, I think this year will be a great year for the stock market. It already started on great footing. I will tip my toe in with this IPO. And we have Noel who says, 1, invest early. 2, invest regularly. 3, stay invested. And 4, diversify. I like that coming from Noel. So I want to say thank you, Peter. Thank you, Chris, for joining us this evening. Like I said, all the best. I wish you much success when this offer opens on Monday, February 2.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's it. You've heard from the Woodcats team about the company and their plans. Like we mentioned, the IPO opens on Monday, February 2. but you do not have to wait until Monday in order to apply. As you've seen in the past, sometimes offers open and close very quickly. So you want to be in line even before the offer opens. You can apply today if you want. You can go there right now, goipo.jncb.com, put in your offer so that when it does open, you're already at the door. You don't have to wait until February 2. Although it officially opens on Monday. The scheduled close date is February 20, but remember, it could close early. So don't wait until the last minute to try to get in. Now, the link to the prospectus is in the description box. We also have the link to GoIPO as well in the description box. You can just click from there and make sure you read for yourself, make an informed decision, and decide whether this investment is right for you. That's it for tonight. Thanks again to Peter Douglas from Woodcats and Christopher Buchanan from NCB Capital Markets for joining us. Make sure you like the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Let them know that this offer is here. And turn on those post notifications so that you can be the first to see all the videos when they drop. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to the newsletter. Very important. GetMoneyNews.com. Go to GetMoneyNews.com to subscribe to the newsletter. You get the IPO alerts, the investment alerts, etc., straight to your inbox. We want to help people learn more about money so we can all what? Get this money together. I'm Kalila. Until next time, let's get this money.